What if I want to sell my junk? Junk cars is not always easy, and there are some things that you need to know before you sell yours. The process might vary depending on where you live and if you have a junk car title or junk/salvage title. You also need to know how much your junk car is worth and whether you owe any money on it before selling junk cars for cash. As long as the junk car can be moved under its power, even if it hasn't moved in a while, you can sell it to junkyards and junk car buyers. You might have to do some cleaning up, like removing junk from inside the junk car and fixing any broken windows or lights. Most junkyards will also ask you to title your junk car before selling it. The title may be needed for them to transfer ownership of junk parts over their books. There are junk cars dealers that don't need junk car titles to buy junk cars, but it is better safe than sorry, so make sure you understand the process. Advantages of selling my junk car. One of the advantages of selling junk cars is that you can make more cash for junk cars if you sell a junk car with a junk/salvage title. If your junk car has been totaled or has no resale value, it's possible to get paid cash if you junk it without junk/salvage title. Another benefit of selling junk cars is that junk car recycling can help you make money out of junk cars. This is a better way to sell junk cars because it benefits the environment and gets rid of junked, wrecked, and damaged vehicles. When your junk car has been recycled, there are no more junk car problems for you to worry about. Also, the junk car recycler will make sure that the junk cars are in such a way as to avoid environmental hazards. The junk car recycler will also remove all junk from the car and make it easier for you to sell it. If anything, it is an advantage because when you try to sell junk cars on your own, you might end up attracting more attention and getting more people interested in buying your junk car or getting different opinions about its value. For junk cars, it's best to sell them and go through the standard steps. Top junk car tips to sell junk car for cash. If you want to sell junk cars for cash, then the first step is to assess how much your junk car is worth. You also need to know if there are any liens on the junk car. The process of junk car title versus junk/salvage title also needs to be known before junk cars can be sold for cash. 1. Junk car's value. You can Google junk car dealers plus city or county to find junk car buyers in your area. There might be junk car buyers that buy junk cars with or without title depending on where you live. You can also Google how much do junk cars sell for? Plus city or county. We are located in Chicago, so if you want to sell your junk car and you live in the city, we can help you and give you a really good offer. 2. Junk car's title. Most junk car owners have their junk cars towed away after paying a junk car towing fee and junk car insurance drop-off fee. If a junk car owner has a junk car title, then a junk car owner can sell junk cars for cash with title in hand. Junking a vehicle is better than selling it for scrap value because the junking process generally keeps more components intact. For instance, junked vehicles are easier to sell as parts than junked vehicles/salvage titles. If your junk car has been totaled or has no resale value, it's possible to get paid cash for junk cars if you junk cars without junk/salvage title. 3. Developing knowledge is necessary. A junk car owner can use a Google search to find junk car buyers and junk car prices in their area. Knowledge and information are power when selling junk cars for cash. Which options do I have to sell junk cars? Junk cars are a major problem in many communities. They are also called abandoned vehicles and can be hazardous to the environment. Junk car recycling is a good way to get rid of these junked, wrecked, and damaged vehicles. Along with being able to remove all the junk from the vehicle, also take care of any environmental risks that could occur from dumping this junk car on someone else's property or abandoned property. Junking is a better option than selling scrap for parts. For instance, if your junk car has been totaled or has no resale value, you could sell it to a salvage yard. If your junk cars have junk/salvage titles, you can sell them to a junkyard and get money. If your junk car has no title, then it's possible to find scrap yards in your area that will buy junk without a title or with salvage title depending on the condition of the car. You can also sell a junk car to a junkyard without title in some locations, or even on Craigslist. Selling a junked vehicle to a person is not the best option because it's hard to find one who will purchase your junk cars and pay you cash. You can also sell a junk car to a professional junkyard, but you'll probably need to have the title for your junk car before they'll buy it from you. There may be private junkyards that take junk without a title, but these are harder to find and could require more effort on your part. Let's sell your junk cars in Chicago. We'll give you a good offer for your junk car and tow the junk right away so it never sits on your property anymore. Should I sell my junk car or junk it? There are a lot of junk car buyers around that make it easy to sell junk cars for cash. You can walk into any junk car buyer and you will get cash for junk cars. It is not the best option to spend too much money on junk cars because junk cars can break down or won't be worth anything in a few years. If you junk cars, it will save a lot of hassle in the long run. Selling a junk car is not as easy as selling your old clothes. Selling junk cars is more complex than other kinds of items because junk cars aren't always junk cars. You might still owe money on junk cars, and it's important to know how much your junk car is worth before you sell it for cash. Before selling junk cars, it's recommended to remove junk from the vehicle and clear out any personal items that could be stolen easily. Junk cars can be junk or salvaged junk cars, meaning they have either been in an accident or have been flooded. Some junk cars have just junk car parts, but they're not junk cars. They are still roadworthy vehicles and should be sold for cash if they can still run correctly. Junk car buyers will pay more money when buying junk cars that don't need to be fixed. However, you'll get a better offer if junk car parts won't need to be removed. If junk cars don't work anymore, it's best to sell them for parts instead of selling them as junk cars. It's possible to make a profit off junk cars, but you'll have better results if your junk car has no problems at all. Sell junk cars in Chicago. Selling junk cars in Chicago is not always easy. You need to know about the best way to sell junk/salvage junk cars because it could be hard to sell junk cars without junk/salvage junk car title, especially if you want cash. Theoretically, you could sell a salvaged junk car in Chicago for cash. However, it's easier when the car has no damage and doesn't need fixing before you can sell it. A wrecked car will need repairs before someone would buy it from you, so your best option might be to sell your junk car for scrap metal even if it means lower payments. You can sell junk cars in the city with or without a junk car title. Our junk car buyer doesn't need a junk car title. We are located in Chicago and we buy junk/salvage junk cars for cash. In AGA junk car buying, we will buy your junk cars and take them away from your property. We can buy junk cars with or without a junk car title and give you cash for junk/salvage junk cars. Call us at 312-401-2157 so we can provide you with a cash offer for your junk cars.